Hello and welcome to this video tutorial brought to you by tutvid.com. Today we're going to take a look at removing glasses from somebody in your image. Now here I'm using a pretty high resolution image, and really the higher resolution image you can use, the better off you're going to be. We're going to be able to zoom way in on these eyes, which is going to help us an immense amount when we're taking these glasses off. We're going to be using the clone stamp tool, the healing brush, and some new layers and history states as well, history snapshots. So with all that in mind, let's get started. First, let me just show you what it looks like before and after. Here I'm going to zoom into 100%, and here she is with the glasses, and there she is without the glasses. And you can see it's pretty incredible how much you can do here in Photoshop, and we pretty well just get rid of the glasses just like that. So we're not going to spend a huge amount of time. I mean, you can really spend a lot of time doing this, and it all depends on how well you capture the lens. Like this, the glass is pretty see-through, so it's not going to be that bad. But sometimes it's going to be very difficult, and you can spend a whole lot of time. But we're going to try to knock this out pretty quickly for removing something so big from the face and reconstructing parts of the eye and things like that. So let's get right to it. I'm going to delete the no glasses group here, and well, not duplicate it. Drag it to the garbage can, not the new layer icon. And I'm actually going to save this document here to a different file so I don't accidentally save over this layered document. And to do that, it's just File, Save As, and you can see I've done it right there. So now that we've done that, we want to create a new layer. I'm actually going to duplicate this background layer first. So I'm Command or Control J, duplicate that background layer, and we want to create a new layer. Everything we clone and heal, we want this to be up on a new layer so we don't destroy anything. Alright, so let's zoom in, and the first thing I want to do is tackle the easy parts of this. That would be getting rid of this part of the glasses here, because you've got this big patch of skin, and a relatively decent sized patch of skin here, and the hair is not going to be that bad. And also over here is an obvious no-brainer, really easy to do. So let's start over here. I'm going to grab my clone stamp tool, and by the way, it's really going to help you a lot if you have a tablet while we're doing this. Alright, I'm going to set the mode to normal, opacity up to 100%. Just like so. And, okay, I didn't mean to do that, I just clicked somewhere. We're going to sample all layers, and I am going to make sure that that is not set to the on position right there, just like that. And aligned is checked on. That's also kind of important that we check that on. Alright, so I'm going to now set my brush to be a decent size hardness here for getting this, because we want to get pretty close to the skin. So maybe around 75% hardness is good. And again, another program error. All that is basically it wants me to sample an area first. So I'm going to hold down my Alt or Option key, sample an area right out there, and reach over to grab my tablet and begin painting away the glasses. Now notice we are up on a new layer. If we shut this layer off, the glasses come back. So in essence, we're non-destructively taking these glasses off, which I love to work non-destructively. It's my preferred method of working. Now that we've gotten the majority of this to go away, let's zoom way in. And we want to make sure we get rid of all of the dark pixels. Any dark pixels left on the edge of the skin are really going to be noticeable. Hit S. S is the hotkey for the clone stamp tool. And I'm just going to begin painting this away and just making sure I get all of those dark pixels. Alright? Just like that. And take away the bit of the glasses, like so. And then right down here where you can just see the edge of the lens. What we're going to do now is switch over to the spot healing brush. Now if you're using, I believe it's back to CS2, the spot healing brush is available, and we're going to use a brush size somewhere around 10, and I'm going to use a pretty hard edge. I'm going to leave hardness at 0, so I'm not going to use this. It's not going to be hard at all. And I'm just going to pull brush strokes back and forth across this area that we've just done, going up and down, just like I'm doing here. Just in an attempt to mix it in. And note here, my mode is set to normal, and I'm sampling all layers. Alright, the thing you want to watch for, and you can see I just did it right there, I want to undo a few times. The thing you want to watch for with this brush is when you even get close to other edges, like these dark edges, it's going to try to pick those edges up and incorporate them into whatever it's healing. So you just want to downsize the brush as you approach other, or different, drastically different colors, like you see there. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and just kind of touch that up. Alright, so that's blended together pretty nicely. And you're going to be using this spot healing brush a lot. So there we go with that. Let's come over to here and blend this stuff in. Very nice. And being very careful as we approach that one lone strand of hair, because that Let's work up here at the top of the eye now. This is where it's going to get kind of tricky. We're going to use the clone stamp tool first to try to get rid of this part of the frame here up until we get to the dark part of the eye, and then things start to really kind of complicate a little bit, but we're going to be able to take care of it. So let's start here by sampling a point right here at the very edge of the face, and coming right in here, and paint right across. Alright, right to the edge of the eye, as I mentioned a moment ago. And then here at the eye, we need to start cloning this darker stuff. So, up here, just begin cloning that across and just trying to join dark with dark. Alright, very nice, looks pretty good. And we're going to grab this dark line here and bring that sort of over just a little bit further. That might be just a touch too far. There we go, just kind of like that. And we're going to grab this dark area right here and just start covering up this part of the frame. It's important that we have aligned checked on up here for our clone stamp tool as well at this point. And actually, I want to undo. Oh no, I don't want to undo. Excuse me. There's this dark spot here on her actual eyeball, which I'm assuming is a reflection from the glasses. We're going to clean that up as well while we're zoomed in this far. So, I'm going to grab more of this dark here and just bring it right across. Start covering up this frame that we see. Alright, great. We've gotten rid of it on the dark part of the eye. There's still this big blob up here, so let's grab the spot healing brush and kind of touch that up. Alright, you can see we might have a few problems right there. No, looks like we got it to fade together nicely. And got some light spots. Don't worry about that. Now we're going to start worrying about them. Undo a couple times. By the way, to undo multiple times, it's Control-Alt-Z or Command-Option-Z on the Mac. So there we go. Bring that back. And I'm going to set this to multiply, the spot healing brush to multiply here, and just bring it through here and work on that stuff like so. Set it back to normal and go over it a couple more times. Try to perfect. There's that one little spot that's bugging me, but I'm going to zoom out and you probably cannot really see it. Now you can sort of see it. Of course, I'm obsessing over it. Let's grab the clone stamp tool, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this here and cover this up with a little bit of darker stuff. Grab the spot healing brush, and now just touch that edge up, and it should be picture perfect. All right, great. Looks very nice. And oh, we don't want to do that. And I'm going to zoom back in on the eye here. And now at this point, what we want to do is actually copy this eye over to here. Not the whole eye, just sort of like the iris and pupil. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to select layer 1. That is the actual layer with this woman sitting on it. I'm going to grab the first thing I do want to do, however, is create another new layer. New layer, double click, and just name that layer layer 3. So you can see here at this point, we kind of have our glasses removal in stages. There we go. That's that part of it, and that's that part of it. So there's the full, glasses on, and, well, all but one lens off at this point. So let's turn on layer 3 and begin work with layer 3. Now, when I'm looking at this, I already know here that the most difficult, absolute most difficult part of removing this is going to be reconstructing the top right here across this part of the eye. It's going to be pretty darn difficult. However, if we don't do this correctly down in here, we will also make it look like she has, been punched in the face by somebody. It's going to look like she's got a pretty bad black eye. So we still have to be careful here. And notice we have this shadow here. Immediately that we have to contend with right here underneath of this pad. So what I'm going to do is sample from right around here and just begin painting over this. You can see how much lighter I'm painting. And don't worry about that. And I'm going to right in here get rid of that, resample, as I love to do when I'm working with these images. There we go. Just come right in here. Just get rid of this whole thing. All right, and just totally ignore the fact that, quite frankly, right now, it looks like garbage. Alright, we're going to sample above this frame like I just did a moment ago, and just get rid of the top of that frame, and maybe just come across the top of that and try to blend it together a little bit nicer. Or a little bit more nicely, I should say. There we go. We will use the spot healing brush on that as well. Alright, before we go any further, we're going to get rid of the bottom of this lens. So I'm just going to select right here, and bring it right on through. There we go. Great.